Hey boys and girls, it's Ron Bass with another edition of the Ron Bass Show. Your source for inspiration, motivation, a little bit of pop culture, some rants, things that I'm not really happy about just for fun, and a little bit of entertainment news. Joining me, of course, my sidekick, Mr. Brent Atterbury.
Hello, sir.
Mr. Marketing Guru. He was calling me a sir, so I said, are you going to knight me? And he said he doesn't have the authority to do that.
That's right. No credentials.
So who does that? I guess the king, huh?
I think so.
Pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Wonder what the requirements are to become knighted.
I don't know.
You should know these things.
I should.
You're smarter than I am.
No, but I can find out.
Okay, why don't you?
I'll Google it.
You want to Google it?
I'll Google it.
Okay. Google's a powerful tool, man. Everything's about Google this and Google that. By the way, I read an article about the guys that started that company, Sergio something Brin. So at any rate, those two guys in college, they connected all these servers together in a garage, and I think in his girlfriend's garage. It was like 30 servers, and that was the beginning of Google. I thought that was pretty interesting. Something real, they're like a, 30, 40, $50 billion company today, but everything starts somewhere, right? Everything starts with an idea. So for you guys out there that are thinking about doing something cool, hey man, make a list, get a game plan, pull the trigger, because win, lose, or draw, you got to make the effort. You got to try. I've lost a lot more than I've won in my life, but you know what? I've won some. And even when you don't win, it's a great feeling to know that you're making the effort. Don't you agree, sir?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I wasn't listening, but I agree.
My yes man over here. Okay, so one of our subscribers mentioned to me in the comments, hey, why don't you do a podcast on relationships? So I'm going to start off today with that topic. We're going to kind of explore it and talk about it and massage it a little bit and to find out what it is that would make a relationship healthy, how to keep it healthy and not toxic, which unfortunately, oftentimes, is pretty toxic. I've got a friend at the gym, another friend at the gym, going through this crazy relationship thing, and it starts off all lovey-dovey, and then of course it goes south, and then now they can't stand each other, but they're still living together because he's going to build a house and he's going to move out, but she doesn't want to kick him out, and back and forth and back and forth, and I'm thinking, my gosh, that's not good. They're not communicating well. They're holding grudges against each other, and that's the kind of stuff that we're going to talk about today, how we want to avoid toxic relationships. But my read on this sort of thing is this. If you've tried everything and you're not getting along, you know what? Life's just too short to be unhappy. You've only got a short amount of time that you're going to be alive, and you know what? You need to enjoy yourself. You certainly need to have some self-respect and think more of yourself than to put yourself through a lot of stuff every day that's not positive. Another friend of mine at the gym, I got a lot of friends at the gym, comes up to me and wants to talk about Donald Trump. And I said, he's so negative because he hates the guy and he's obsessed. And I said, Ron, his name's Ron also, quit talking about Donald Trump all the time. Just, you're obsessed. I'm not obsessed. You're obsessed. I said, I'm not obsessed. You're the one talking about the guy all the time. I said, I don't even read I don't even look at the news channels like I used to because they've gotten so negative. They're so sensationalized. Everything's sensational now. They take one piece of news and they sensationalize it and make it so negative. I mean, everything is like World War III and the world's coming to an end, and boy, it's just crazy, and it's gotten worse than I've ever seen it. So I told him today. I said, man, just if you can't say something positive to me, just why don't you go over there and lift your weights and have a nice day. So then he comes back around a little bit later and wants to talk about other stuff. So sometimes you just got to stand up for yourself and say the right things, and don't let people push you around. It's nice to accommodate. It's nice to be friendly. It's nice to be nice to people. But in the end, you got to think about yourself. If you're not getting good input, you're going to have a bad day. You see, two rules of psychology. You become what you think about, and you become who you surround yourself with. God help me with Brent in the room today. I'm kidding. No, Brent's a good guy. We've been together how many years?
Oh, hundreds.
5 years, 10 years?
Hundreds. Seems like it. No, just kidding.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
But I met Brent at a marketing meeting years ago, and I was really impressed with him. You know why? Because he was very down to earth. We were talking about that earlier today. how we do our podcast. We keep it very simple, very basic, nothing fancy. I've had people say, "Oh, your background is so dull." Well, we're not here to make our background look pretty. We're here to share information to you that in some way, shape, fashion, or form will be beneficial for you to either get through a bad experience, to have some insight into an experience that you're going through, hopefully make you laugh a little bit, have a better day, share our ideas with other people, and you get the idea. That's what our goal is here.
Yeah.
So
you've been through a lot. You've had a lot of experiences, and this podcast is allowing you to get it out.
Yeah,
let it all out.
That's true. So back to the topic of healthy relationships. So I want to delve into this a little bit further. I think one thing that would help a relationship even better is that not everybody's religious, but I think if you would pray together. I know some people are going to say, "Oh, that's not good advice," but really, if you believe in God, which I do, and you have a personal relationship with God, I think it's really important to share that with your mate. And I'm not saying you got to get down on your hands and knees, all the time, but I think there's times when you're together and it's quiet and you can sit down together and hold each other's hand and you can say a prayer together and just look at each other and just, embrace each other. I think that's an important requirement to help a relationship be more successful. Another problem I think with relationships is that there's not a lot of openness. So we talked about this a little bit earlier with in the podcast, where people, they hold grudges. And when you hold a grudge, it's just going to fester. It's going to get worse. You got to get it on the table. You got to get it out. So if you don't agree on something, talk about it, massage it. Yes, you may not agree on every single point, but you'll probably find some common ground. Does that make sense?
Yes. I think just how I see it is communication.
Communication.
There's got to be communication when you don't talk about things, good or bad. Then things can be twisted. They can be misunderstood. So communication is really important. Honesty.
If you're communicating but you're not being honest.
Yeah. Huge.
Speaking of that, another friend of mine at the gym. I got a lot of friends at the gym. This guy's a very successful business guy, but when he was young, he was playing around. He was married. He got caught. And I asked him, I said, "How did that work out?" Well, we went to counseling and we got it all worked out. But you know what? In the end, really and truthfully, it's never going to be right after that, because there's still going to be too much water under the bridge. And I've had a lot of people tell me, "Oh, well, maybe it's not too bad if they both agree on this and that." Or if you have like an open marriage where you have other sex partners, I think that's a big mistake. From my perspective, if you can't be loyal and dedicated to your spouse, stay single. I stayed single. I never felt like I could be that guy. Maybe that's selfish, but I would rather be that guy as the guy that gets married and then cheats on his wife. I don't want to be that guy. And I had a lot of friends growing up that I saw do that, and it made me sick. It still makes me sick, because it's very, very disrespectful to the spouse. So I don't want to dwell on that too much, because I know I'm going to get positive response and negative response, but that's how I look at it.
No. Well, and that typically ends in divorce. And everybody that I've ever known that's gone through divorce deals with drama and ugly situations, not just during the divorce, but it continues, especially if there's kids involved. So it's something that goes on sometimes forever.
For
so it's
many years.
I know it happens, and I know it's part of life for a lot of people, but it is a journey that is not exciting and fun.
I think that I think we're animals, and I just don't think we're. I think we're built, to have multiple mates. I just, it's my opinion. I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with that, but that can get you in a lot of trouble, and I understand all that, and that's not what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to get married, have children, and live happily ever after, but unfortunately, oftentimes that's not the case. So
if you had to say you were a certain type of animal, what would that be?
I would say that I am that's a good question. What do you think?
I don't know.
Mischievous? Mischievous? Is that, what's the right word?
The fox?
The fox? What's the right word? Mischievous or mischievous?
Depends on where you're from.
What's the correct pronunciation?
I don't know.
I think it's mischievous.
I think it is.
So what's the synonym for mischievous?
Don't know.
Well, that means
Google it. I Googled the knighthood. If
Google
you
mischievous to see what other
Well, you want me to
words
read you about
Yeah,
knighthood?
knighthood. Let me read
Okay.
about knighthood.
Nominees for knighthood are required to have surpassed the expectations of their role in either their work or community, demonstrating exceptional dedication and benefiting others through their achievements, regardless of their location.
Wow. So you got to be really like high end in your field, whatever that is. I suspect it's very subjective though, and it's from the king, isn't it? Or did I tell you?
I didn't go
You didn't
that
find that?
far.
I'm pretty sure it's
that's
the
the
king.
requirements
Or
to be considered for knighthood.
Oh, to be considered.
Yeah. So we're not even too.
I wonder if there's like a committee, or if it's probably just up to the king or queen. I'm
Oh,
guessing.
how to become knighted by the queen? Oh, yeah, okay. How much does it cost to be knighted?
How much does it cost?
You don't buy it.
No, you
It's
don't
an
buy
honor.
it. It's an honor.
It's endowed by the queen or sometimes a lower member of the royal family.
Queen.
That's the knighting. There you go.
And a lower member of the.
The royal family.
Wow. Now that's interesting.
You
I would have thought it
can't
would
pay
just.
for it.
Huh?
Can't buy it.
No, you can't buy it.
Gotta earn it.
Gotta earn it.
Darn it.
Speaking of earning, you can't earn success. I mean, you can't buy success. You have to earn it. My bad. I'm playing on words there. You have to earn whatever it is in life that you're shooting for. You know, money's okay, but it's just a tool, guys. You can't take it with you. It's a tool for investment. It's a tool to be able to help a few people. It's a tool to pay your bills. But other than that, it's investment. Really, business investment. So the main thing is, in my opinion, to be successful in life is to set goals. We talk about this all the time. And to work towards the goals. They don't have to be crazy goals. It could be, I want to lose 5 pounds. It could be, you know, I want to walk a mile a day. It could be, I want to be a better son. I want to be a better wife or husband. I want to be a better friend. It doesn't have to be like a crazy, I want to be a billionaire. It can be just something very simple, very basic. You should write it down and date it like we talked about on the back of a business card. It's real simple. Put it in your billfold. So every time you grab your debit card, you recite it. And then remember the law of psychology. You become what you think about. It's kind of a crazy thing to think that that's a law, but it is a law. It's a law of psychology. It's as much of a law as if you dropped a rock from the top of the building, it would hit the ground. You like that analogy?
I do. As long as there's nobody standing underneath it, you know, then it would hit your head. But, you know, I guess it would hit the ground too.
Mr. Dry Humor over here. You know, his dad is a comedian. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree over here. I've never met your dad, but I bet it'd be interesting experience. I bet it would be an interesting experience.
It is. Yes, I agree.
Glad you agree with me. Okay, back to relationships now to keep them healthy. Yeah, don't let anything fester. So if you got a problem, man, get it out on the table, right? Talk about it.
Yeah. Yep. And you know what? I in life, you are thrown challenges and situations every single day, every single week, every single month. Whether you're single or you have a relationship, these things are coming at you all the time. And I've learned a long time ago, don't sweat the small stuff.
And everything's small stuff.
Yeah.
That's the old.
Just
That's the
don't
rest of the
sweat it,
saying.
you know, because you can't. It's kind of going back to the news, the little bitty thing that they blow up out of proportion.
Terrible.
So many things happen on a given day. I know in my life, with my wife, my kids, my grandkids, if I hyper focused on every single thing, you know, I think I would pass out. Yeah.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
By the way, what's the old saying? Big people worry about big things, little people worry about little things.
Yeah.
That goes hand in glove with what you said a while ago.
I'm only 5'8". What does that mean?
Well, it means you're a little short.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm right about where you're at, maybe 1 inch less. You know, when you get old, you shrink a couple inches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm like 2 inches shorter than I used to be.
Wow.
I used to be like 5'9".
So is it 2 inches a year? Or?
No, 2 inches. 2 inches in your lifetime.
Oh, in your lifetime, okay.
Yeah. But as you get old, other things go bad. Like you lose 1% a year after 30 of your lung capacity. I think it's like 1% a year of your muscle deteriorates unless you work out. But if you work out, you can still grow muscle into your 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Wow.
Yeah. So work out.
Yes. Oh, by the way,
Go to the gym.
Today is National Walking Day.
Really?
Yes, it is.
National
You Google it.
Walking Day.
It is.
Google it.
Yeah.
You know, I walked in my office the other night. I have like a hallway in my office complex, and I walk 50 laps, which is basically 2 miles. It takes me about 30 minutes. I don't go fast, but I used to run every day, but with arthritis in my knees, it's gotten a lot harder. So now I'd like to just like take long walks or do the Stairmaster at the gym, which doesn't seem to hurt the knees as bad. So anything you can do to get some cardio in is really important. National Walk Day.
It is Walking Day. National Walking
Day. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the topic of how to have a healthy relationship. Don't let anything fester. We talked about that. Get it out immediately. Don't look. If you got something bothering you, just get it out. And even if doesn't have to be about a relationship. It could just be like a friendship. Mm-hmm. Like maybe you got a buddy that something's bothering you that you don't like. Just talk about it, or a parent or a son. There's no time like the present, right? That's an old saying. Mm-hmm. Get it out, talk about it, massage it, and you're going to feel a lot better about it, getting it off your chest. Plus, the other person is going to feel a lot better knowing that you've addressed it, whatever it is. It's probably bothering them too. Mm-hmm. We're human beings, man. Things bother us. We're really sensitive creatures. Sensitive creatures.
Back to the animal thing.
Yeah. We're creatures. We are animals.
Yeah. Oh.
We don't think of ourselves as animals.
No.
I asked somebody one day, I said, what do you think like when these people, like these plane crashes in the mountains and they had to eat each other to survive? Mm-hmm. I said, I wonder what we taste like. And I've heard some people say we taste like chicken. That's what I've heard. But we are animal. I mean, we are flesh. What about cannibalism? Like the real cannibalism?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where did that come from, and how did that happen? And that'd be an interesting subject to follow up on. I guess it's in Africa or somewhere like that where they would
know. Yeah.
Aren't there cultures where they eat each other?
Not as many anymore. I don't think.
I don't know that.
I think
maybe you just hope that's so.
I think it's because they ate everyone that was in the tribe.
That's terrible. Oh my gosh. Okay, regret. That's another subject. That's a big topic by itself. If you don't get this out, you don't work with your partner, you're going to have a regret. It's going to harbor. It's going to fester in your brain. You're going to carry this around, even if it's subconscious. You're not going to be 100%. Back to what I said. You got to get it out on the table. You got to talk to your whoever it is that you're bothered by, or they're bothered by you. You got to get it out, talk about it, massage it, resolve it as best you can. You need to be helpful. You need to help each other. You need to be not selfish. Mm-hmm. That's a big problem. People get me. No, that's not going to work. You got to be helpful. You got to be giving. Yeah. You have to receive. If they're doing something nice, you should do something nice.
Well, but you should always think of others, not yourself. Yes. When you're helping, always try to give. The more you give, the more you get back. Even though you're not expecting it, you will get it back.
Quit being judgmental. It's a big problem. We tend to be judgmental. Oh, he's this. Oh, she's that. I have a big problem with people that are like, like a male that acts like a female. I wonder to myself, is he homosexual? And I'm not being like homophobic. It's just that in my brain, I feel like I need to analyze that. Or a woman that's a lesbian, I wonder to myself, is she a lesbian? I'm not, and I don't think like that because I'm being judgmental, but I think it comes across like that. I had a person the other day I was talking to on the phone, and I said, "Thank you, sir," and the person said, "That's ma'am." And that person said it in a very curt sort of way, and I've never had that happen to me before. And it was like, wow. But, I mean, I understand where they're coming from. They want to be addressed by who they are, and they deserve that respect. But, it's when you've been brought up a certain way, you have to adjust your thinking process. You should never be prejudiced about somebody's weight or looks or age or wealth or gender. That should be off the table. But unfortunately, we live in a world where that's not the case. People are very judgmental, a lot of discrimination, and we don't want to be like that, guys. And I'm sure most of you are not, but if you are and you got a problem with that, work on it, because it's not the way to live, in my opinion. What say you, sir?
No, I agree.
I'm
110%.
glad you agree with me.
Yes.
I like it when people agree with me.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's kind of the end of that topic. What else you want to talk about today?
Well, I have breaking news.
You have breaking news.
Yes. Punxsutawney Phil, the guy that determines if there's going to be more winter
Yes.
or less winter. Well, his wife Phyllis, and he had 2 babies. So that is breaking news.
That's breaking news.
I just wanted to let you know. I knew you've been wondering.
Yeah, I've been wondering about that.
But I didn't know his wife's name was Phyllis. So,
I didn't either.
Yeah.
But I have a little story to throw in about that topic. When I was in high school, I had a student in the room in my speech class. His name was Rodney Sell. And Rodney went on to become an actor. And in the movie, who was the actor in the movie? Bill Murray. What was the movie called where he kept waking up and it's the same day over and over again?
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day. My friend was the mayor in that movie.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if he ever had another part in any other movie, but that's Rodney Sell. Went to high school with that guy.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I thought you'd
That's
enjoy
awesome.
hearing that.
Yeah.
So much for all that. So, okay, so here's kind of a dark subject, but I find it very interesting, and it's disturbing, but I've been reading articles about depression, and in the Netherlands, they practice euthanasia, and now here's this 28-year-old girl who's going to be euthanized in May. She set the date, and she's decided she would rather die than live. And over there, it's legal. Of course, there's a lot of people trying to talk her out of it, this and that, but she says that she feels like life isn't worth living because she's so depressed all the time and not happy. It's a touchy subject, depression, unhappiness, sadness. But I think with some people, that nothing helps some people. I think some people are just beyond, and I don't know why that would be so. You would think there would be technology, medication, something that would help anybody that had that kind of depression, that would help them. But apparently, there's certain people that nothing helps. And from their perspective, it would be better to die than to live with that pain. That's a very difficult thing to think about. It really hurts my heart to think about that.
Yeah.
But it's reality.
It is. I don't agree with the ability to make that decision and that call. I think it all goes back to things that we talk about and we preach all the time, is never give up. And I think you have to continue to try and continue to work on it. And I don't believe that we get to make that decision.
Well, I'm not sure if I agree with what you're saying, because we haven't been in that position where we hurt that bad. I mean, we talk about suicide. Think about how many people do commit suicide. It's not like they probably really look forward to that in the sense that they would like to think there would be a solution. But I think they've reached a point where there is no solution for them, for whatever reason.
And I think the key
it's a very difficult topic.
I agree. I just think they've exhausted everything, but I don't think they have.
What do you think? What do you think more could be done for these people? They're on medication. They're going to counseling. They've had shock treatment, and nothing's helping. Nothing's helping.
It's like every doctor has a strength and weakness, and every organization that offers counseling approaches it a little differently. Some of the principles are the same, but you don't know until you try, and you got to keep trying.
I think this is a tougher subject than people want to accept, but here's my gut feeling. Here's the way I look at it. I don't have all the answers, obviously, and I don't have the answer to that one, but I think about this to say this. We don't know how lucky we are that we don't have that problem, that the majority of people don't have that problem, that we would think death is the best way out. So on a day in and day out basis, we have to reflect and say to ourselves, man, yeah, I'm feeling low and lonely and different and mad and this and that, but you know what? Throw it out the window, because we don't know how good we got it. And when you put it in that perspective, we should be very thankful that we have our health, mental and physical,
Right.
that we have some friendships, and we have some ambition to move forward in our lives and be a better dad and a grandfather and a husband and a friend and a student and a professional person and whatever. And we're very fortunate. So it's a really dark subject, but I'd like to touch on that a little bit more at some other time. But here's something kind of funny. Here's a rant. So yesterday I went to vote. I think it was the school board and a few other city questions you had to answer from the amendments or whatever it was. And I walk in. Well, my name is Stuart Ronald, but it's spelled Stewart. But on my voting registration card, it's spelled Stuart. Oh my God! The lights were going off, the bells were going off, the whistles were going off. There was like 6 people at the table, and they were having to huddle to come up with a solution. They were freaking out. They didn't know what to do for me, and I'm standing there thinking, really? All I'm going to do is just vote. I'm obviously my driver's license, my picture. They know it's me. The voting registration card was mailed to me by their home office. So even if it was misspelled, who gives a crap? But I mean, you would have thought that this was like the president's council or something. It was crazy, man. And finally, after about 10 minutes, they said, "Okay, I think you're okay. What do you think? You think he's okay? What do you think he's okay?" I couldn't believe it, man. Finally, they let me vote.
Wow.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's silly.
I think a lot of that stems from the voting fraud that happened over the last 4 years. So I think that's part of it. They're really, really watching it close now.
It's so silly, though.
I know.
Come on, man. It's voting on a city election. It's not even like a presidential election. It's something even more serious. But at any rate, Here's some breaking news. Now they say that knee pain is in direct proportion to brain cognitive skills. So that when you get old, you lose a lot of cognitive skill. Your ability to think things through is less. But now they say if you have arthritis in the knees, which a lot of people do over 50, over 60, that affects your cognitive ability as well. So that's real good news, huh? For the aging and for the people that have arthritis.
Why? Because you're so hyper-focused on this pain.
I think it has something to do with, it's some sort of a medical, physiological thing where somehow it's connected and it affects the brain. That's weird, isn't it? But they've done like huge studies. And they just came out with this information recently, and I read the article.
I wonder if it's the doctors that do knee replacements, because they think if you have great knees and no pain, then you're going to be smarter and more cognitive.
That could be.
I
Okay, here's how are we doing on time?
I don't know.
Let's check the time. Mr. Timekeeper. You know, when I was in school, we would speech and debate events. And we would have timekeepers who hold the time, and you had to be under the. Are we out of time?
Yes.
We're out of time. Okay, one last thing, and we'll close it out.
Okay.
Credit card processing. So I see this poor lady online. She's crying on TikTok. Hey, I don't know what I'm going to do. This customer, I did all their marketing, and I charged them $2,000, and they put a chargeback on my card. I can't pay my rent. I don't know. I'm gonna see my car. I don't know what I'm gonna do. She was going on and on and on and on. And I thought, I can relate to that. So in the end, somebody gave her $2,000. Somebody's nice enough to do that for her, and she came back on and was so happy. And
wow.
And that. So there's a lot of generosity out there. I applaud that. I applaud that. But I say that to say this: over the years, I've had a lot of problems with credit card processing. And I've kind of reached a point now where I'm just about thinking I'm not going to accept cards anymore. If I do, it's going to be like occasionally. Because they do have 6 months to charge back. And a lot of people charge back just because they can. And then you try to fight it and you don't win. So it's just not worth it, in my opinion. Plus they charge fees. Plus they keep money on reserve. It's just one battle after another. So if you're in business and you're taking credit cards, send me some comments and I'll respond back and tell you my ideas on that. I'm not saying it's all bad, but man, you got to really be alert and aware of what can go wrong. All right, any final thoughts, sir?
No, it's another great day. It's
another great walking
the
National
life
Walking
of
Day.
Ron Bass show.
I see. Well, thank you, Brent, and everybody out there. just remember, if you don't give up and you stay the course, eventually the stars, they're going to line up. So until next time, stay positive.